Alright, welcome back to the channel. This is the second video about my 2001 F350 with the 7.3 Powerstroke. The main thing that we're going to do in this video is replacing the front leaf springs. You can see how low to the ground the front end is, especially compared to the back. And also one of the leaf springs is cracked, so that needs to be addressed pretty quickly before I drive it too much more. So I have to put the jack stands under the frame because I can't put them under the axle because I have to drop the axle down to do the leaf springs. Okay, so it's hard to tell now with the weight off the truck, but those leaf springs were about flat, or if anything curved to the opposite direction. But looking closer, you can see we have 1, 2, 3 cracked springs. Also, this bolt is snapped off for the shock. Then on the driver's side, it's hard to tell, but this top spring is cracked right underneath the U-bolt there. So right behind this U-bolt, this top most important spring is cracked. Also, check out this shock. Completely loose there. So it looks like the first step is going to be unbolting the sway bar end links. I don't really want to mess with these, so we'll get the sway bar end links, then the track bar, then we should, and then the shocks. I don't know. Let's just start taking stuff apart. I don't know, these shocks don't seem too bad, but I'm still replacing them. Let's see what happens with this broken bolt. We're not off to a good start. Alright, this one's pretty shot. Alright, so to get this side of the track bar off, I have to move this tie rod. Boom. Don't hit the ends of your ball joints. Hit the socket, hit the side, not the end. Alright, with that out of the way, well, I got the shocks and the track bar off, but I think Mom has dinner ready, so I'm gonna go take a break and then we'll keep moving. Alright, I'm not gonna take these front spring bolts out because then the axle's gonna fall down. I'm just gonna loosen them off get the rear ones, and then before I take both of them out, I'm gonna cut the U-bolts, bang the U-bolts out, and I think if I cut these U-bolts out, I don't know, I'm just taking stuff apart. The directions wanted you to take the bumper off, but I'm not doing that. Someone's been here before us. There's NECs, but I'm not complaining. Ooh. There it goes. That was definitely tight. And it looks like 2 more of the springs were cracked as well. These were long overdue. Now you just slide those 2 bolts out and this spring should come right out.
Why don't you have safety glasses on?
Yeah, that's not good. All right, I cleaned up that spring perch. So now we should be good to slide the new leaf springs in here, or this side. Come back this way. So I couldn't get the leaf spring on that side lined up, so I'm going to cut this side and then we'll get both sides. We'll put both new springs in and get them lined up at the same time. Now I have all 4 leaf spring mounting bolts in through the holes. Just have to put the nuts on and tighten them. But before I do that, I want to get the axle in position with the U-bolts in position, and then I'll tighten everything down at once. Got these painted, looking sharp, and the sway bar is still, I'm not gonna use it. I need the new end lengths. All right, I cleaned out that center hole with a drill bit, and now it fits nice over the leaf spring. Best I can tell online, these are supposed to get torqued to 99 foot-pounds. All right, here's the front spring bolt, and I have the axle jacked up so that it's very slightly lifting the truck off the jack stands, and that's going to simulate the axle being at ride height. You should always torque down your suspension fasteners at ride height. There he gets, I'm gonna hold the wrench. All right, here's the track bar. Need to get these bushings in here. Alright, I got all the bolts torqued down for the leaf springs, the track bar, the U-bolts. I also put the tie rod on and used the needle scaler and wire brush on the front sections of the frame here that you can see. And then I put some fluid film over it, and that fluid film should protect this metal. I would like to undercoat the whole truck, but I'm not worried about that now. Now, one last thing before I put the tires on. I'm just gonna pump these with some grease. Hopefully this extends the life of my steering and suspension components. It's about to blow out. Look at this tire. It's level, and there's a bulge right here. Well, there it is, back on 4 tires, and that's how it's gonna ride. I think it looks good. Still a little bit higher in the back, which is how it's supposed to be. Truck, because you usually put weight in the back. So now let's take it for a spin, see if it drives any better. All right, it rides much better than it did before. When you turn the wheel all the way to the left, it doesn't rub against the plastic there. But I do have to get a new front driver's side tire because that one that's on it has a bulge in it. And it still has to be aligned. You can see the steering wheel is not even close to the middle still. And I'm gonna put the sway bar in. So with the steering wheel straight, it's pretty easy to see that the wheels are pointed this direction towards the driver's side. It's even easier to see on this side. So to adjust that, we want to find this link that goes from the steering box or the pitman arm to this drag link that goes all the way across. And we want this rod to be longer because that will point our wheels more towards the passenger side. All right, it's hard to tell, but I got those wheels straight with a little bit of heat, penetrating oil, and a pipe wrench. All right, I got this pretty straight. At least it is close enough for me. Let's see, holding it in the middle. We're still going to the right. Yeah, I can point the wheels. I can extend that bar a little bit, it seems like. But honestly, that's close enough for me. So the next thing I have here to install is a steering stabilizer. Here's what the rough country kit comes with. Obviously the shock, U-bolts, hardware, and this bracket, and some good instructions. So the shock was obviously that silver color all the rough country shocks are, but I painted it white because I think it looks better. Of course, my bracket here is bent. That should be about straight, and it's currently there. Okay, I got that bracket straightened out, and the directions say to install that side. Just set this bracket in place here and extend the shock 4.5 inches because that's half of its 9-inch travel. And now we can put the U-bolts in here and bolt it in place. Alright, now I'm going to have my dad turn the wheels and we'll watch and make sure nothing hits.
Ready?
Yeah. You gotta hold the key. Okay, it doesn't hit anything when you go through the steering travel. So I'm going to tighten all the bolts and we'll call this good. Alright, check it out. I just got these new tires put on these aluminum rims that I had to replace these tires, but it kind of sucks because only the one front driver side tire is bad. The other three are in pretty good shape, so I'll definitely keep these around because the tread pattern is pretty similar to the ones on the tires I just got. So this is why you don't use chrome sockets on an impact. These guys get torqued to 150 to 165 foot-pounds. This torque wrench only goes up to 150, so. All right, first drive with the new tires, and that vibration is gone. Honestly, it's the steering, it handles better. Before, the steering kind of pulled to the right a little bit, and it doesn't do that as much anymore. So I'm happy that these tires fixed a couple of the issues with the handling. It's important to have your vehicle handle well. I'm not too happy with the price for the tires, but I don't want to get into that. Okay, so I just got these sway bar bushings with the brackets in the mail. I ordered these ones off Amazon because they came as a kit. Looks like Ramcoa, not sure what that brand is, but they are made, the bushings at least are made in America, so that's pretty cool. Alright, I got both end lengths on. Now I need to snap these bushings around the sway bar, and I'm going to put a little bit of Sil Glide on them to prevent any squeaking. And just like that, the sway bar is installed, and that's nice. It has those new brackets and bushings. So hopefully these new tires last a long time. They don't get random bulges in them for no reason, or the tread wears out after 10,000 miles. All right, now let's do something else with this truck. I want to thank Auxbeam for sending me out some of their headlights to try. They sent me these a while ago and finally getting around to installing them. So they sent me one of their newer products. These headlights are, this is the 5-inch wide, the 2-row, and these ones are multifunction. They have amber and clear, and you can also do strobe, which is very useful for safety. So here's what comes in the box with the 5-inch light. Obviously you get the 2 lights along with the mounting hardware and a big jumble of wiring, but these are actually really simple. So I'll explain this more in a bit, but you get your positive and negative. The negative can just ground straight to the chassis. Positive goes to the battery. Then these go plug straight into your lights. You have to crimp ends on there. Switch, and the rest of it is just plug and play. To install these lights, it's pretty simple if you've worked on cars or vehicles before. So those lights are pretty bright there, and the thing I like about these lights is it has the different modes. So you also get amber, strobe white, and strobe amber, which were nice to have when I had a trailer tire blowout on the highway the other day. So excuse the slight mess of wires I have going on here. But to install these lights, Auxbeam gives you everything you need to wire these lights. So you just need to get 12 volts from the battery, and it comes with a fuse, and then ground, which I grounded it right to the top of the relay here. And then they give you a switch, which I ran to the dashboard here, right below the hydro switch, which is convenient to use. And then the other wire runs down to wherever you decide to install the lights. Make sure you zip tie these up nicely. I need to come in here and clean up all my wires. And then to mount the lights, they come with a couple brackets, and I ended up just bolting them straight to the grill, drilled a small hole, and that works out well for me. They're pretty lightweight, so I'm not worried about the plastic cracking here. Been on here for a couple months now, and I haven't had any issues. And the last step with any install, add the sticker to the sticker wall. So thanks again, Auxbeam, for sending me out those lights. That's all I've got for now. This Super Duty has treated me well in the time I've had it. Put almost 3,000 miles on it.
350